So to help you all connect with families and do the best that you can with all of them, we have updated our Achieve Parent Training curriculum to bring it into all of the new developments in the field and the new direction towards compassionate, neurodiversity affirming care. So I wanted to show you really quickly what we've done and what we've added. The Achieve Parent Training curriculum is available in PDF and it's available in paperback, but we also now have an online version that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. But just to give you a quick preview of what this update looks like, it's now 449 pages. There's a lot of lessons that you can use to customize your parent training experience to the direct needs of the clients and families that you're serving. I've added new lessons like ABA strategies that stick, which is all about teaching families to make ABA strategies part of their routines to make them habits. And that's such a really effective way to help parents utilize the skills that we're trying to teach. I've added lessons on sustainable parenting, ethical considerations for parenting. There's a new lesson on let me see, we've added teaching community and life skills, sleep problems, feeding problems, transition planning, navigating the sibling relationship, responding with compassion. I thought that was really important because a lot of parents don't understand why we might choose to respond that way when they have learned in the past more traditional, structured, discipline-based models. I've added lessons on emotional regulation, functional communication training, using technology to support ABA, troubleshooting. So there's tons and tons of resources for you to pick and choose from so that your families can meet all of the goals that they have and you can meet them where they are. So this is what a lesson looks like. This one is actually for the BCBA. This is a lesson on how you can build a collaborative relationship with parents and caregivers. I'm just going to skip over some of these. I'm going to find a lesson for parents. There's a lesson on using ACT in parent training. I go through the purpose and expectations of parent training, the scope and structure of it, and these are lessons for parents. So this is what it looks like. The paperback version looks just the same. There are quiz questions. There's an answer key in the back. There's lessons on goal setting. There's a lot of visuals to help you to help parents understand and process the information. This is the ABA strategies that stick. It's all about creating habits. So this is what the PDF and the paperback version will look like. Let me stop for a second and just show you what the online version of Achieve looks like. It's significantly different, although the lessons are the same. So the online version of Achieve starts with the Pathway to Progress guide. So this will help you narrow down the lessons that you have to pick from because it's a little bit overwhelming. There are a lot of lessons, and this process will help you narrow down which ones you can recommend using to with parents based on their goals. So I have created 12 semi-custom parent training plans, and this little survey will help you actually lead lead to recommendations for which plan would be appropriate for the family based on the responses that the family how they respond to these questions. So it has questions like, which improvement do you feel would most change your daily routine? Having a solid grasp on core ABA principles, sticking with strategies once I start them, minimizing aggression, tantrums, or other disruptions, or helping my child learn tasks more effectively. So if aggression and tantrums are something that are a problem, they would probably choose that. And you just go through, there are 30 questions, and the parent just responds to the questions, and you can make notes on what results the survey gives you and which plan it recommends, and you can have it email the results right to you so that you can come back and you can do this survey again and again with different parents. It's really fantastic. And then you can just click and download the plan that it recommends, or you can pick a totally different plan depending on the needs of your parents. You can scroll down here to see more about each of the different plans. So you can read more about what the plan is and what the family profile is that would be appropriate for this particular plan. And that's just helping you narrow down the number of lessons that you're working with. You can work with the entire curriculum and pick and choose as you wish, and that's completely fine. This is our Achieve Parent Training curriculum. So we do have, when you purchase the Achieve online version of the curriculum, you have the ability to go to separate each one of the semi-custom plans will have its own page. So that way there's only 7 lessons per page, because this page gets a little bit overwhelming. But this is the full curriculum, and when you have the online curriculum, when you have access to it, you get access to this as well. And so you can direct parents to go to any of the lessons. Let's look at importance of motivation when teaching new skills. If they're going to start the lesson, they just click start lesson. There's downloadable files. Each lesson has a guide and an assignment for the parents to complete. And those are also in the PDF and the paperback version. So, but the online version has short videos. This one is just 3.5 minutes or almost 4 minutes long. Before we dive in too deep, I want to take a minute to talk. So needs a paycheck. When you want her to do something she wouldn't choose to do on her own, she won't go. So it's just a fun little video that kind of talks about the topic in a way that parents can understand. So these are the analogies and all of the strategies that I've used to fully engage parents, because when you speak to them on their level in a way that they can understand, but it's not condescending, parents are actually going to do the work that you want them to do. And so these videos are really helpful for that. I have references if you're interested in staying up to date in any of the research. You can hide the lesson, the parents can take the quiz. So this is a Google form. There's none of the data is stored, so it's up to the parents to identify what their score is. But a lot of parents enjoy having a little bit of feedback and a sense of whether or not they've completed or they fully understand the information in each lesson. So this is an example of one of the semi-custom plans. This is the foundation plan. So this plan only has 7 lessons. Each of the semi-custom plans only has 7 lessons, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. You can always, once they've started and kind of gotten a hold of what this system looks like, then you can have them go to the full curriculum and you can add lessons there. But this is a really helpful way to reduce a little bit of the overwhelm that a lot of parents might be feeling. So those are the semi-custom plans. And I have one more thing I want to show you that I'm really excited about. I have done a complete overhaul on the parent training assessment, which I'm very excited about because this assessment now graphs automatically. So it graphs all of the data that all of the information that you enter into the assessment. So this is your dashboard. You would have a specific, a new file for each client. You just document that. Let's look at let's go back to the ABA strategies that stick. When you enter information into this is a rating scale. So identifies everyday routines where strategies can be embedded. And the description is the parent recognizes consistent routines such as brushing teeth, mealtime transitions as opportunities to apply ABA strategies naturally throughout the day. And you just give them a rating. There's a little key here so that you have a little bit of consistency in your rating. So parent has a little understanding, but isn't sure how to apply it. Parent understands the concept and can use it sometimes. So let's say, just for fun, that this parent has a 3. So we're doing the initial rating, and you would just come down and you would rate them. We can say that the initial rating was 2/1/2025. So if we enter in just some data, and you can see that it's all color coded. So areas of concern show up as red. Somewhere in the middle is yellow, and then things that are looking a little bit okay are green. So then you have the ability, is this to respond to if this is a parent priority or not? So no, that one's not a parent priority, but let's say this one is, and then you can just enter that information as well. These are the parent goals. There are some sample goals down here. So in the area of focus, here's a sample skill development goal. The parent will independently select and map out at least 3 daily routines where specific ABA strategies can be applied. So it gives you some action steps and your evaluation method. So you could take this goal and you could copy it, or you can customize it and put it into the parent goal. Over time, what you can do is track progress. So we haven't introduced this goal yet, and you can write any notes that apply. If we go back to our dashboard, we're going to see that there's actually some data here. So that's fun. If we go back and we do some reassessment, so let's say we're reassessing and it's now 5/1/2025, and we'll just reassess the data. Obviously, you're going to be using real data and you're going to respond accordingly, but I want to show you what this graph looks like once it's done. So your initial assessment data shows up in blue, and your reassessment data all shows up in orange, and this will show up for all of your skills. So isn't that fun? So I do have one more that I want to show you, which is each of the sub-assessments, or each of the semi-custom plans has its own assessment. And again, that's to limit overwhelm. And each of the semi-custom parent training plans, each of these assessments graphs a little bit differently. So it does still have the bar graph, but it has all of the 7 lessons in the same bar graph. This one only has 5 because this is the behavior navigator, but 1, 2, 3, 6. But it also tracks your goals. So if we wanted to look at the reinforcement lesson, so let's, again, I'm just going to run through and enter in some data. So that you can see what this looks like. Maybe we want some to not go up. Let's see what it looks like when it goes down. And things that are a priority to parents are probably the areas that we want to focus on, right? So matches reinforcement to task difficulty. So let's look down here at the sample goals. For the sake of time, I'm not going to customize them, but you would want to come in and customize the goals so that it aligns with what your parents need. This one says parents selects stronger reinforcers for more difficult or less preferred tasks. This one is under using reinforcement consistently. Let's just borrow this sample goal. And we'll mark goal progress. So let's say this one is introduced but not required. And this one is partial progress. Actually, this is not going very well. So, but we'll leave it at that so you can see what it looks like. So you can see that the data is graphed here on the average rating for each, the initial and the reassessment. And you can see that it's showing a little bit of progress. And then your all of the data pulls here to your parent goal so you can look at it at a glance. So you should be able to hide the empty ones, but there we go. I just clicked the wrong one. So you can hide the empty rows so that you can see that it's under the lesson and reinforcement. These are the steps that we're working on. These are the goals, and this is the goal progress. So I've done what I can to create an entire system for you to be able to connect with your families and provide all of the training and skill development that they need in a way that's not going to take a whole lot more of your time. You're going to be able to see all of the information visually, all of the progress, which will help the parents as well. So this is what the Achieve Online looks like. The assessment, I think, is only going to be available, at least for now, with our Achieve Online, and at least the semi-custom parent training plans. So those will only be available with our online version, but the full assessment and the full curriculum will be available for the PDF and the paperback versions.